This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's been almost 1 year since Donald Trump ordered levying tariffs on Canadian exports to the U.S. At the time, there was a lot of enthusiasm from politicians to ditch interprovincial trade barriers to help Canada's economy weather the storm. But as CBC's Ian Fraze reports, some Winnipeg business leaders are wondering where all that momentum has gone.
Kevin Selch was hoping trade between provinces would flow easier by now. The trade war brought renewed hope Canada would finally knock down the interprovincial trade barriers. So Manitoba responded with a new law. It signed memorandums of understanding, or MOUs, with other provinces, and yet
you can sign all the MOUs in the world that you want, but unless you get access to the shelves, you're not really getting market access.
The Little Brown Jug's founder wants to ship beer to Ontario, but says the hurdles remain.
Every monopoly is Byzantine in its kind of approach to it. Like Ontario has different regions, how you get into a certain region, what the listing call is, getting your product tested, getting your label approved.
A new report says Canada's economy would be better off without these regulations. The International Monetary Fund suggests Manitoba's real GDP would grow by 12.2% in the long run.
If they can do it as a continent in Europe, getting to a single currency and a common market, it boggles the mind that we in Canada cannot do it with 41 million people.
The Winnipeg Chamber of Commerce says if provinces won't act faster,
we think the federal government really needs to take a look at some of its constitutional powers.
Manitoba's premier says lifting barriers is complex. For example, if the feds wanted to change food inspection rules,
there's going to be thousands of farmers and ag producers in our province alone that are going to want to have their perspectives heard by the federal government.
Some hurdles have already been lifted. Now, beer can be sent out of province by mail.
But that's not how people buy beer.
He says most customers would rather go to a store or grab a pint. Ian Fraze, CBC News, Winnipeg.
3 people were injured in an explosion in the Arm of Tache Thursday. The Tache Fire Department was called to an explosion at a propane distribution center near St. Genevieve Thursday afternoon. The deputy fire chief says the structure had about 100 propane tanks in it, with up to 2,500 more tanks around the site. One person was taken to hospital by Stars Air Ambulance. Another was taken by ground, while a third was treated at the scene. The cause of the explosion is under investigation. A Winnipeg City Councillor says if your property assessment has dramatically increased, it doesn't necessarily mean your taxes are going up by the same amount. Winnipeg homeowners received their 2027 property assessments in the mail this week. Some parts of the city saw home values increase by tens of thousands of dollars. The city's finance chair says those numbers are based on sales of similar houses. He says the impact on your tax bill will have to do with the average increase across the city.
If you're above the average, you're maybe paying a little bit more. If you're below the average, my in-laws' condo in Transcona went up only a handful of thousands of dollars. I think it was $3,000 more. So they're going to be below the percentage average. So their taxes conceivably in 2027 could go down.
You can reach out to the city if you believe your assessment isn't correct. A West End hotel with a reputation for violence has been sold to new owners who have big plans. They're hoping to be part of the revitalization of the area and create a safe space for people who live and stay in that area. CBC's Gavin Axelrod has more.
Wayne Fabian grew up in Winnipeg's West End and rents out this house right beside a beer vendor and bar and a nearby hotel. A new plan for the building next door has him excited.
I would like to see just a different change, especially just being in such a commercial, busy area, especially for that hospital being right there.
A company called Trican Advisory has bought New Lodge Hotel on Notre Dame Avenue, along with the beer vendor and bar across the parking lot. They plan to renovate the hotel. The beer vendor on Maryland will not reopen. Jane Arnott with ICI Properties represented the buyer during the sale process.
We are looking for investors and partners to help us to enter the next stage, but one of them is to convert that beer vendor into a restaurant. And there will be no alcohol served in either the hotel or the restaurant in its new iteration.
The hotel, under its old name as the Maryland Hotel, became known as a violent hangout. And over the years, police have been called to the beer vendor and bar for incidents like shootings, stabbings, and robberies.
You definitely get the consistent flashing lights, police hovering around and everything, and even just within the last few years, just a lot of like incidents and everything, and around the house and around the neighborhoods.
Arnott says the new owners want to revitalize the neighborhood and capitalize on how close it is to the Health Sciences Center.
All of their investment and their plans and ideas are around making a safe, family-oriented hotel for anybody to stay in, where they can be safe and not have to travel outside to go for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Fabian welcomes the development.
I've been here for like a lot of my life, and I've never stepped a foot in that building at all, in the bar or whatever. It would be kind of nice, interesting change, and see how that would take place. So.
Arnott says the new owners are looking at putting between $3 and $4 million into the renovations. She did not say how much they bought the hotel for. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A 44-year-old man has been charged with the sexual assault of 2 teen boys after gaining the trust of their families. The investigation began last March after police were told a boy was groomed and abused by a hired handyman. The family severed ties with the man. He left the city but continued to contact them. Ultimately, Calgary authorities arrested him for criminal harassment. They searched the devices, finding evidence of child abuse material and uncovering a second teen boy who also was allegedly abused. Ryan James Knight, also known as Ryan James Gabbery, has been the subject of at least 2 separate sex offender notifications in the past. He remains in custody. People gathered at the Manitoba Legislative Building Thursday evening to mark the National Day of Remembrance and Action Against Islamophobia. CBC's Mike Arsenault has that story.
Inside the Manitoba Legislative Building, attendees lay flowers next to photos of the 6 victims of the 2017 Quebec mosque shooting. January 29th is the 5th National Day of Remembrance and Action Against Islamophobia. Krishna Labahari says this is a day to remember those victims and promote action against Islamophobia.
Rise above that hate and build awareness in our communities that violence perpetrated against any faith and any faith group is wrong. It's a great immorality, and we as Canadians will not tolerate it.
In 2017, 6 people were killed and more than a dozen wounded in a shooting at a Quebec City mosque during evening prayers. In 2021, the federal government announced that January 29th would become a national day of remembrance. Thursday's event at the legislature comes on the heels of a series of hate-related graffiti incidents in Winnipeg. Labahari says acts of hate and violence committed against specific communities is everyone's responsibility.
It's also an attack on all of us. It's an attack on you if you're Christian, it's an attack on you if you're Sikh or Jewish or what have you, because, that's your fellow human being, that's your brother.
People from many different faiths spoke at the event, including Harold Schuster from the Independent Jewish Voices of Winnipeg. This is his 6th time attending the event. He says Islamophobia and anti-Semitism come from the same hateful place.
It's important that we stand in solidarity because, as I've said, my ability to be safe to live my life as a Jew is tied into the ability of a Muslim to live their life as a Muslim, to live their life as an Indigenous person.
Schuster says in light of some of the anti-Semitism and Islamophobia we've seen in Winnipeg, events like these are still important. He hopes bringing attention to these issues will spark some change.
We all have a shared humanity. The basic understandings of all those faiths are similar, and we need to recognize that it's okay to look different.
Labahari says the more we talk about Islamophobia and the more we speak up, the less emboldened people will be to spread hate. Mike Arsenault, CBC News, Winnipeg.
All right, this is the moment we've been waiting for. CBC weather specialist Riley Lachuk joins us now. And Riley, we have gotten through this extremely cold spell.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth all the fanfare, Marge, because as always, there's a bit of a catch with this one, and this coming with some precipitation as we get through the weekend. So through the weekend itself, looking at a general 2 to 4 centimeters of snow. This is Saturday afternoon in the west. ending Sunday morning in northwestern Ontario. Notable risk of freezing rain in Westman as we get through the early part of the day, Saturday, through western Manitoba. Throw in some wind, looking at gusts, particularly through the Interlake and the Red River Valley, 60 to 70 kilometers an hour. Strongest Saturday afternoon. That's where we could see some gusts, particularly outside the city, up to 80. So that could mean blowing snow on highways, poor visibility with some of that snow as it begins to fall through the later part of Saturday into Sunday, with still some wind into the day on Sunday yet as well. So we'll talk about all that a little bit later on. Minus 23 through the overnight hours tonight. You'll notice the winds picking up by the time we get into the morning. Minus 21 first thing, and looking at minus 10 by the afternoon. It's been a wild March since we've seen temperatures this warm. We'll talk about the snow, and we'll time all of that out when I come back.
Okay, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
It might be worth the trip to Steinbach, but how do people get around the automobile city? Why one local group wants a public transit system. More coming up. The wheels are in motion for a public transit system in Steinbach. Mayor and council have received a community report with 7 priorities to tackle Steinbach's growing population, now over 20,000. One of those priorities, a transit system. CBC's Christopher Garreau reports.
Steinbach's known as the automobile city thanks to its long history of car sales. But with a lack of public transit, most without a car are left walking in a city that in 20 years has doubled its population.
The need is just being magnified because the city's has grown. So the physical distance from one area of the city to the other is much larger. The community is much more diverse.
A coalition of 20 different service providers who work with people without vehicles of their own want to get a public transit system rolling on these streets. They want to expand a system that now has 2 vans serving seniors and people with disabilities. The 2 Steinbach accessible transit vans are run by the Pat Porter Active Living Center. They're on demand for now, but the center's willing to run a public system for all. Coalition Chair Gabe Bowes says it would also help those who move to Steinbach for work.
We've got many immigrant families coming in, and we know that there were people that have come to Steinbach, had a job in hand, assumed that there was public transit, and could no longer keep their job because they could not get physically to the job.
17-year-old friends Aiden and Miguel could use a ride to work, school, or the grocery store.
There's times I have to walk, usually over summer. Yeah. That's about an hour, maybe more.
Steinbach Council has voiced support for a transit system, but the mayor says he wants more details from the coalition before officially signing off.
Is it a bus? Is it a few cars? Is it a van? What is startup? We want to have a more like a hard number from them.
The coalition has presented its plan to council, which includes vans, fixed stops, and flexible schedules. It says all it needs now to collect those grants and get people moving is to have that council support put onto paper. Christopher Garreau, CBC News, Steinbach.
The fire that destroyed a school on a Manitoba First Nation this week was not criminal. Barons River's chief and council posted a community update online to say an electrical issue caused the fire early Tuesday. No one was inside when it caught fire and no injuries were reported. The First Nation is seeking portable classrooms and donations to support its students. They hope to have portables set up by April. A new program aims to help Manitoba's tourism lodges and operators ready for wildfire season. Travel Manitoba is launching a $1.35 million program to help with fire prevention equipment and training. The Crown Corporation says it wants the money to help operators become more resilient to wildfire.
We really saw through this last wildfire season that our sector was particularly vulnerable. And we have a lot of operators that work in remote areas that may not have immediate access to firefighting services.
Manitoba's tourism industry brought in $1.89 billion to the province last year. The deadline to apply is February 17th. Shovels are finally in the ground for a new RCMP headquarters in Flint Flon. The project will replace the community's existing police office, which has been in need of replacement for years. CBC's Eric Westhaver was at the scene in Flint Flon.
Construction has started on a long-awaited new RCMP headquarters here in Flint Flon. Pilings are in the ground and work crews are on site. The project is taking place uptown, right next to the former headquarters of mining company Hud Bay. The current RCMP headquarters is located in a building just 2 blocks away from here. The police share it with the local fire department. The police side of the building has had issues for years, including a long-running mold problem in the building's holding cells. They don't meet the RCMP's own health requirements for prisoners. They haven't been used since at least 2012. Officers have had to transport people across the border into Saskatchewan to house prisoners at the RCMP detachment in Creighton, about 2 kilometers away. Plans to build a new headquarters started in earnest in 2019, but the project has been delayed several times. We spoke with Manitoba RCMP Sergeant Paul Meneg about the project. He said that this is part of a growing trend of refurbishing rural RCMP detachments.
Work's underway, and then hopefully, like I said, in the next number of years, we'll be seeing a number of communities with new infrastructure in place.
One thing Meneg made clear is that a new RCMP headquarters doesn't mean more officers. That gets figured out by call volumes and reports from the public. The new detachment office is slated to open in 2027. Eric Westhaver, CBC News, Flin Flon.
Road crews will be out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, clearing snow on the perimeter highway. The province and the Manitoba Government and Employees Union is teaming up to pilot around-the-clock winter maintenance. It will happen on an as-needed basis during severe weather events. The agreement, which kicked in last week, allows the Transportation Department to activate 2 12-hour shifts. Transportation Minister Lisa Naylor says this will lead to fewer disruptions to one of Manitoba's busiest routes. Okay, so don't put the shovels away.
No.
Get the snowblower warmed up, ready to go, because you're talking about snow on the way.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, Marge, I'm not expecting major accumulations, but certainly enough that you might need to shovel off the sidewalk, maybe the driveway, as we get into the weekend here. So I'll spend a bit of time talking about that. It's not necessarily the snow that I'm more concerned about, more so the wind as we get through the later part of Saturday into Sunday. So high pressure, as you can see, is beautifully cleared us out really across much of the province, starting to see a bit of cloud cover now pushing back into northern Manitoba ahead of a low that will skirt across the territorial border as we get into the weekend as well. So here's the setup with that high pressure that I mentioned now over northwestern Ontario. A bit of snow out ahead of this next low into northern Manitoba, a couple centimeters or so through the overnight hours. As we head into the morning on Saturday, you can start to see this next low, this quick clipper system pushing across Saskatchewan as we get through the morning, starting first thing in southwestern Manitoba. And as this warm front nudges into the province as we get through the morning hours, this does bring with it the risk of some freezing rain, fairly isolated to southwestern Manitoba. I think Souris, Pipestone, Melita, for example, in that southwestern corner of the province. That's where I'm looking at the greatest likelihood of seeing some freezing rain. The risk is there, the recipe is there. So that's the setup freezing rain-wise. The rest of us into a snow event as we get through later Saturday into Sunday. It is a quick mover, so by the time we get into early Sunday morning, we are looking at things having, for the most part, wrapped up through Manitoba and northwestern Ontario and replaced by high pressure as we get into Monday morning once again. So what I'm looking at in terms of accumulations, this map I think is running a little bit on the high side, still within the realm of possibility, particularly through central and western parts of the province. But I think the further south you are, the closer you are to the Trans-Canada, this is more like a 2 to 4 centimeter event as we head overnight Saturday into the day on Sunday. The story, though, will be the winds as we get through the weekend here. So you can see already through the overnight hours, starting to see some of that wind picking up in northern Manitoba. Gillam, Churchill looking at gusts of 70 or 80 likely as we get into Saturday, and that wind starts to pick up as we get into the morning tomorrow. For the Red River Valley, generally looking at gusts 60 to 70 through the day, but the potential there as we get later on in the day of seeing gusts even up to 70 or 80 before we start to see things dying down slightly into the day on Sunday. So that could mean, combined with some of that fresh snow, some blowing snow, drifting snow, reduced visibility on highways. So take that into consideration if you've got travel plans anywhere really outside of Winnipeg as we get through the weekend here. Temperatures minus 20 first thing in the morning for Winnipeg, minus 14 for Dauphin, 16 for Brandon. And then look at this nice warm-up we've got, Marge, as we get through the next week here, up to minus 7 for Tuesday, and it gets warmer in the 7-day.
Thank you very much, Riley.
You're welcome.
Here is a look at the Manitoba legislature as we head to break. We have more coming up. Stay with us. Canadian-made aircraft are the latest target in Donald Trump's trade war. The U.S. president is threatening to slap a 50% tariff on all aircraft made in Canada and to decertify some planes manufactured by Bombardier, a company headquartered in Quebec. CBC's Anis Hidari looks at what's behind the threat.
Another tariff threat, another industry. This time, it's Canadian-made aircraft in Donald Trump's crosshairs. The U.S. president demanding some U.S.-made private jets be certified by Canada. Otherwise, Trump says he'll tariff Canadian-made planes at 50%, plus decertify them, singling out Bombardier in particular. In a statement, Bombardier said it's actively investing in expanding our U.S. operations and added, "We hope this is quickly resolved to avoid a significant impact to air traffic and the flying public." Canada's industry minister says when Trump tweets, the government doesn't panic.
It is our understanding that the certification process is well underway and that the certification demands were absolutely recent. So meanwhile, the certification process is something that we don't politicize.
The union representing Bombardier workers called Trump's ultimatum unjustified and dangerous.
We should never forego safety and security. These certifications are important in the aerospace industry and for air transportation, so they're necessary.
And U.S. operators use thousands of Canadian aircraft.
You would actually, in essence, completely halt air transportation in the United States. You'd paralyze the United States if he was to go through with this.
One Canadian expert calls Transport Canada's approval process world-class.
They'll take their time. They'll take the time required to, in fact, make sure the airplane is safe for Canadians and for that airplane to operate in Canada. So it is not illegal that Transport Canada is taking its time. It is part of its regular process.
Despite how Trump worded his post, sources tell CBC News he would only decertify new aircraft. However, the U.S. president has made economic threats on social media before and not actually followed through. Anis Hidari, CBC News, Toronto.
The impact of Trump's trade war against Canada has become real for hundreds of Ontario workers, auto workers. They came off their final shifts at 6:30 Friday morning. About 500 General Motors employees in Oshawa, Ontario have been laid off. The union says it shows that GM made a clear decision to cave to U.S. President Donald Trump rather than stand up for its Canadian workforce. GM has shifted some production to a plant in Indiana. Another 500 people working in the Canadian supply chain are also losing their jobs. Canada's 11th province. Some Minnesotans are calling for the U.S. state to become a part of this country.
How about since Trump dislikes Minnesota so bad and we're so out of control, let's join Canada.
Former professional wrestler and Minnesota State Governor Jesse Ventura recently pitched the idea. Some Minnesotans are angry over the deployment of federal immigration agents in the state. Ventura, now a political commentator, made the comments on a podcast. Others have followed suit. One resident recently wrote to a publication suggesting the state join Canada and the new province be named Manitoba. Brian Clapper, a Minnesota real estate agent, put out a social media video a year ago stating why his state should be adopted by Canada.
There's a lot to admire about Canada, and things here in Minnesota right now are bleak. We're under federal occupation, and I think, I made my video a year ago, but there's been a huge resurgence in people watching it.
So how easy would it be for an American state to join Canada? The U.S. Supreme Court established after the Civil War that a state cannot leave without agreement from all the other states. The future of Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre could be decided in the upcoming hours. Party delegates from across the country are convening in Calgary right now for a leadership review. Kate McKenna is there with the details.
Ahead of a vote to decide Pierre Poilievre's future, Conservative MPs are standing behind their leader.
I think he's going to do outstanding. I think we've seen from the membership, I see it every day on social media, how they're still behind him.
Our leader is focused on bringing down the cost of living here in Canada, getting pipelines built, get good projects so our Canadians get good paychecks.
We just want to get this vote over with tonight and get a speech that energizes our team and our members, and then let's move on and do what we can to to do what's best for Canadians.
Roughly 2,500 delegates from across the country are casting a ballot. The question, do you think Pierre Poilievre should stay as leader of the Conservative Party of Canada? He's expected to do well. Party officials say they believe he'll get more than 80% approval.
I know that within the party he's very respected, admired, and everyone has ultimate faith in him to remain leader and become the next Prime Minister of Canada.
Pierre's been really supportive of the youth movement. I mean, the Conservatives are seeing such a growth in the youth demographic, 18 to 35. And I think the Liberals are very reliant on the over 65 vote, whereas Conservatives have room to grow.
We haven't seen any other Conservatives who have come forward, to be honest, right now. It is, at this time, we have the best leader is Pierre Poilievre.
But while he may be popular with the Conservative base, polling shows he trails Prime Minister Mark Carney significantly.
His job post-convention, if he's successful in holding on to the leadership, is changing the frame for people to think about what they want from a prime minister. And right now, the world we're in, Mark Carney is certainly benefiting from that feeling of instability that Donald Trump and, economic insecurity and conflict around the world is creating.
Before the vote, Poilievre will be giving a speech intended to unite the party. No Conservative leader has been given a second chance after losing an election since Stephen Harper. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Calgary.
A dog owner in BC says her pet nearly died of a cocaine overdose. She is warning other pet owners in the area to watch out for what their dogs might pick up on their walks. CBC's Caroline Bargout reports.
Sarah Bell is so grateful her dog Nilak is back to his normal self. Just before Christmas, she had taken the 2-year-old husky to a dog park when he grabbed a napkin off the ground and swallowed it. At first, she didn't think much of it.
He has done this a lot, so I kind of figured it was okay. It was, it's just a napkin, whatever, fiber, great, woohoo. But about 2/3 of the way into the walk, he started acting funny.
When she got him home, Nilak didn't want to get out of the car, and his head was bobbing around and unsteady. She rushed him to the vet.
I was crying at this point because I was so certain that I was going to have to put him down. And he came to me and he said, "It's cocaine." And I said, "What do you mean it's cocaine?"
It turned out the napkin had been contaminated with cocaine, and Nilak had overdosed on it, but was going to live.
I don't know. I don't want to have to go through it ever again.
That doesn't surprise these friends. They've each had dogs that picked up drugs from public spaces and overdosed on them, but survived.
When we were up in Squamish camping, she found some marijuana and almost died. And thankfully, I was close enough to Squamish. I drove her in, and $3,000 later, and 48 hours at the vet clinic, she survived.
So I asked the vet, could this have killed my dog? And he said, yeah, definitely. You take your chances, I guess. The ER vet told me that this happens. He sees it fairly frequently.
Leave it.
The Canadian Veterinary Medical Association doesn't collect data on this, but says it happens across the country.
The Society of BC Veterinarians says vets are seeing more dogs with multiple drugs in their system, likely from ingesting human feces. It says dogs will be greatly affected whether they pick up a cannabis roach off the street or if they get into their owner's prescription meds.
Dogs have way different amounts of receptors in their brains than we do, especially for things like the cannabinoids. So they will get way, way more affected than we will, just off of a very small amount.
Vets say the quicker you can get your dog help, the better the outcome will be. Sarah Bell knows this firsthand. She's never returned to the dog park where Nilak found that napkin and is now very careful where she walks him, even though she knows something like this could happen anywhere. Caroline Bargout, CBC News, Delta.
Beloved Canadian actor Catherine O'Hara has died. The Emmy Award-winning comedian was 71 years old. Here's Griffin Yeager with a look back at O'Hara's career and how she managed to capture both laughs and hearts.
David! Kevin!
From the laughs to the love, Catherine O'Hara, the star known to so many as a national treasure, has died. Born and raised in Toronto, O'Hara began her career at Toronto's Second City Theatre. Here's what the iconic improv joint had to say about the star.
Catherine O'Hara was a trailblazer and an iconic talent, so it's impossible to get into comedy in Canada and not feel that influence.
Later on, she helped create SCTV alongside fellow alumni, including Eugene Levy. From her work as Kevin McAllister's mother in Home Alone, that movie you turn on every holiday season, to her hilarious, quick-witted character, Moira Rose on Schitt's Creek.
David must have taken it, along with my last molecule of hope.
Beetlejuice, and more recent work alongside Pedro Pascal in The Last of Us and Seth Rogen in The Studio. O'Hara's career spanned decades, and her work connected with generations of fans. Her trophy shelf full, she received numerous Emmy nominations, 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards, and a Golden Globe. Here's O'Hara herself on the love for the craft and her humanity behind it.
People are hilarious, whether we mean to be or not. Everyone is a character. And the best thing is, the healthiest kind of humor is if you can laugh at yourself, if you have a sense of humor about yourself. And we're all ridiculous and lovely, beautiful, hilarious people. And so there's just a never-ending wealth of characters in the world.
Tributes are pouring in from co-stars and fans. Actor Pedro Pascal writing to Instagram, "Genius to be near you. This lucky world that had you will keep you always." And Macaulay Culkin writes, "I thought we had time. I heard you, but I had so much more to say. I'll see you later." Leaving behind her husband and 2 kids, the star was 71. Griffin Yeager, CBC News, Toronto.
Using AI to detect breast cancer, how early research shows that AI might be better at detecting the disease early. There's growing evidence that breast cancer screening using artificial intelligence is better at detecting the disease early and possibly saving lives. Jennifer Lagraza brings us the new findings and the calls from Canadian doctors to make the AI technology widely available here.
But when we turn on the AI algorithm,
this is what it looks like to use AI in breast cancer screening.
We see that this area is becoming with higher risk lesion score.
Radiologists at Toronto's Women's College Hospital have been using artificial intelligence as another set of eyes for about 2 years. On the left, the scans the radiologist sees. On the right, the same scans reviewed by AI.
We proved that this lesion was a malignant lesion.
Now, more research adds extra support for using AI in breast cancer screening.
What I wanted to achieve with this study is to improve the screening test for all women.
The new study divides more than 100,000 women in Sweden into 2 groups. One had their breast scans read by 2 radiologists, the standard in Europe. The other had AI sort scans based on low and high risk.
The great outcome that we have seen is very promising.
The findings show that AI is more sensitive, detecting 29% more cancer than the radiologists, and catching it before it turns into more aggressive and advanced forms, potentially saving lives.
These studies confirm that they pick up things that the human eye doesn't see.
Early detection means less burden on the healthcare system, which can translate into thousands of dollars in savings per patient, according to some experts. It also eases radiologist workload.
Healthcare and regulators have to move at the speed of cancer, not at the speed of bureaucracy.
AI-assisted breast cancer screening isn't readily available across Canada, something advocates hope to change.
We have AI helping us to identify more cancer.
It's still not a perfect tool. AI can flag false positives, but experts say over time it will become more refined and hope it lands in hospitals across the country. Jennifer Lagraza, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, it's not just dogs that don't like the cold. Cats also don't like the cold too, right, Riley?
I'll ask my mom about that one.
Well, maybe some cats do like the cold. Yeah.
Some of them will go outside.
Yeah, some of them will.
Some of them won't. Yeah, that's because it's Feline Friday. That's why we're talking about cats. So let's take a look at our picture. This one is a cat who is, I think, patiently waiting for summer to arrive. Doesn't look too impressed there with the snow and the cold weather outside. This is Marshmallow, aka Marsha. Thank you, Sheila, for sending this picture, and keep sending yours to talkback at cbc.ca. So into the morning hours, what you're going to notice as we get into the early part of tomorrow is the wind really starting to pick up, south 40 gusting to 60 in the city, possibly seeing some gusts 70 or 80 outside the city tomorrow as this area of low pressure pushes through, brings us a bit of snow. So Marshmallow, you might be waiting a little bit before we get into some sunnier skies and maybe something that's a bit more spring-like. Temperatures right now, minus 21 in Winnipeg. This, for the moment at least, the last day that we're looking at temperatures below seasonal for the time being anyway. South winds at 19, pressure 104.4. It was just about at 105 kilopascals earlier today at the airport. So things starting to fall. That's going to introduce a bit of a new air mass into the province here, and will usher in some precipitation. So temperatures right now across the province, minus 23 in Brandon, Swan River at minus 15, as is Thompson, Gillam at minus 17. So temperatures do drop, and actually the temperatures that you're looking at for the overnight forecast at least are close to or at seasonal where we should be for overnight temperatures for this time of the year. We'll start to get some cloud cover building in overnight tonight through the west, partly cloudy to mostly clear skies through the Red River Valley and the Interlake through the night tonight. Looking at minus 18s for Melita, Swan River, Roblin, minus 20 through the overnight hours. And temperatures rising slightly through the overnight hours in northern Manitoba. Will introduce some cloud cover as well. Minus 16 in Thompson and Churchill with a few flurries, some periods of light snow in the north as we get through the day tomorrow as this next system starts to nudge its way in. So a couple rounds. The first one across the territorial border, Thompson, Gillam into the Hudson Bay coast. And then the next round coming for Flint Flon, the Paw, even into Lynn Lake, looking at some periods of snow through the afternoon. In the south, looking at temperatures rising Afternoon temperatures around -4 to -5 for most of western Manitoba. -1 in Verdun certainly could hit the freezing mark in Melita. And some of these temperatures here, particularly through the Red River Valley and the Interlake, as we get through the daytime tomorrow, we'll actually see these rising a bit further. So -10 through the afternoon in Winnipeg, and looking at temperatures rising closer, probably even to -7 or -6 by the time we get into early Sunday morning. Well, in Manitoba, Marge, it isn't optional. You have to dress for this weather.
That's right. But as technology keeps getting better and better, what are the best options so you're not left in the cold?
We sent the CBC's Jim Agapito to find out.
Winnipeg is experiencing a major cold snap. Earlier in January, temperatures dipped below -25, triggering province-wide Origin yellow weather warnings. So we wanted to ask an expert, what kind of gear should you use for this weather other than the usual suspects? We're about to find out.
My name is Rick Sean, and I'm the owner of Wilderness Supply.
Okay, let's talk about commuters. What should they be wearing?
I think the first thing to say with commuters is always be prepared. Wind is the biggest factor for making you really feel cold. You're going to want to have a nice warm jacket, toque, face mask. Any exposed skin and temperature like this, it'll freeze pretty quickly. Even if you've got only these little pieces, exposed to the wind, you can freeze pretty fast. One of the first things we say is don't wear cotton. Don't wear a cotton base layer. I have a poly cotton shirt. So if you can, wear something like polyester, synthetic material, or wool. I love wool against my skin. What it does is it allows the body, when you're sweating, it pushes the moisture away from your body. Cotton actually holds all that moisture in the material. So when you have the wet material against your body, it actually makes you feel a lot colder. Have a good mid layer like this, and then something heavy on the outside.
Materials have changed over the last decade. Can you tell me how gear has changed over the last little while?
One of the things that we've seen in a gear shop is actually the outdoor clothing has become a lot lighter. And so when a person comes in here looking, they're like, oh yeah, I really need a big heavy jacket. And we hand them something that feels really, really light. They're like, no, this isn't good enough. But actually, I actually wear in -30, 40. I wear a fairly light jacket, but it's because of this. It's because of the insulative materials that they use on the inside. They're much lighter, they're much thinner, but they still have really good loft, and they keep the body heat in. That's the point. You want that body heat to stay inside your body. You want it to be a windbreak so that the wind is not cooling you down from the outside. Each material, each jacket has a wind rating. It's measured in CFM, it's cubic feet per meter of the jacket. So, for example, if it has 0 CFM, you could put your face right up against the jacket and blow on it, and you wouldn't feel that breath on the inside. So it's completely windproof. When you're walking and you're just out there just doing not super fast activities, that's probably what you're looking for is a 0 CFM. It's a complete wind block. If you're out there doing really, really active stuff, you actually want something that breathes more. So 50, 100 CFM, it breathes more. And what that means is that it pushes that, it pushes the sweat and the heat from your body outwards so that the moisture doesn't stay inside. It's about keeping your body regulated, and it depends on what activity you're doing. Like we mentioned, if you're just walking really, really slow pace, you're not creating a lot of heat inside, so you're not sweating a lot. You don't need something that has breathability. But if you're out there snowshoeing or skiing or running or those kinds of things, you're creating a lot of body heat. So what we want to look at is how do we keep your body a certain temperature and not overheating.
And a jacket like this will keep me warm? This
Totally.
feels like nothing.
I know, it feels like nothing, right?
Jacket.
It's so light.
Yeah.
So I typically wear that with what I'm wearing right now, which is a smart wool mid layer. And I'll be good in -30, -40, completely windproof. The hood is awesome. Like if you actually just throw that hood up there and you can tell it has this little elastic thing. So if you pull it down a little bit, it actually sticks to your head and it doesn't blow away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's just go and try this. It's absolutely surprising how something so thin can keep me so warm, especially in this weather. And one of the technologies I've been hearing about are heated gear. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
For sure. So actually heated gear has been around for a while, like probably well over a decade, but it hasn't really become popular for the last couple of years. And the reason being is because battery technology has not been super great. We've had, just decades ago, like when we started this, the batteries were bad. We had lots of warranty issues, but heated technology's come a come a really long way. So batteries are really great these days. You're seeing them in gloves and mitts, which we have here, but you can get them in socks and vests and jackets and all kinds of things, even pants. And yeah, I mean, for somebody who wants to really be able to regulate their heat throughout the day, they could just flick the button, heats it up, get too hot, turn it off. You know, it's a normal glove again.
And how long do batteries or gear like this last?
Depending on the product and depending on the quality of the brand, I mean, they can last hours, so 4-6 hours.
Just a reminder for Manitobans to dress appropriately and stay warm. Jim Agapito, CBC News, Winnipeg.
After the break, a longtime staple is on the way out. Why Coca-Cola is ending production of its frozen juice when we come back. Stay with us.
CBC is proud to sponsor the Manitoba Chinese Business Gala to celebrate the Year of the Horse. Experience an evening of networking, food, performances, and awards on February 6th at Club Regent Event Center. Visit cbc.ca/community for details or email win@cbc.ca.
A longtime staple of Canadian freezers is on the way out. The last major producer of frozen juice from concentrate says it's discontinuing the product in the next few months. Coca-Cola says declining consumer demand is why it's ending production of its Minute Maid line of frozen juices. That includes canned orange juice, along with Fruitopia fruit punch and 5 Alive juice blend. The frozen juices are set to be discontinued in Canada and the U.S. by April.
A year-round staple when I was growing up. Okay, taking a look at your 7-day forecast now. So prepare for some snow, some wind as we get through the weekend here, looking at south 40 gusting to 60 or 70 as we get through the day tomorrow. Northwest 30 gusting to 50 into Sunday. Things start to warm up as we get into next week here, looking at -9 into Wednesday, and then perhaps a bit more snow coming our way as we get into Thursday, -1, and dropping back down to -8 once again by the time we get to next Friday.
-1, okay.
Yeah. Well, he is barely out of diapers.
But a British toddler is already making headlines for setting a pair of world records at the pool table. Here's your daily lift.
Oh, trick shot. Trick shot, Judah.
2-year-old Jude Owens recently became the youngest person ever to make a bank shot and the youngest to make a snooker double pot. That's when one shot sends 2 balls into separate pockets. Jude was introduced to pool and snooker when his father bought him a mini table to play on.
He says it was clear right away that his son was a natural. The proud father says Jude used to stand on bar stools to reach the table and is now good with just a kitchen stool.
Jude is about the same age as my son, but I don't know if he can play pool like that.
Give him a year. Give him a year.
What kind of talent? I gotta find
He'll be fine.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend.
I'm taking some time off. Colette's in good hands with you guys next week.
Oh, Riley, I'm gonna miss
and Marge,
you.
I'll miss you too.
Bye.